Alrighty then. Well, if you're watching the replay, then go ahead and please fast forward to about 90 seconds. That's when we will start. Let's get our microphone in there. Is the light on? The light is on. Nice. We are streaming live on YouTube. We are streaming live on Twitter. We are streaming live on Periscope. We are world round. Let's rock and roll. Seeing some of you guys on. What is up, Big Chief? It's just a thing. It's a thing. Sup, Chris Kramer? Same day. Oh, dude. Wow. Way to open this up. Now, I'll be honest. One of my dogs died. Howdy, man. One of my dogs died 4 days ago, I want to say. Our YouTube channel is just Valley of the Suns. You can find us, just search Valley of the Suns. So far, all I have up there is this stream as well. So you can watch the replay on there. Thank you for the hearts. Yeah, no, well, hey, sorry to you too. I mean, in full disclosure, that dog wasn't my favorite. So, I mean, it did suck. It was really weird. It happened while I was at work, but, you know, it's just one of those things, I suppose. They're playing together puppy line. I hope so, man. I hope so. The dog was cool. It was cool. We need a point guard. Point you list is just not a starter. Agreed. Future so bright. You gotta wear shades. Now, there's a story behind these in particular. And what do you say? We're 90 seconds in, so welcome to the Valley of the Suns Live, the weekly edition. My name is Adam Ains. I'm your host. I'm your site editor. I am here for you. Booker is a bust. It's the funniest joke I've heard ever. Ever. You can literally put anybody else's name on this roster and say, is a bust. And I'd be like, well, there's not even a head. But to say Booker is a bust, hilarious. So while we're all here, real quick, please like, please tweet, retweet, please share. We got people watching on YouTube. I see people on Twitter. I see people on Periscope. Tell all your friends, text them real quick. Yeah, it's first season. You know, Booker's ahead of Kobe's pace. But just send a quick text. Go, yo, Valley of the Suns Live started an hour late. You can watch it this time. You know, come on, jump on. Let's talk. This is an open conversation. I'm just your facilitator. That's all this is. I'm just your facilitator. I'm just here to have a good time. Just talk basketball with you guys. Booker and Warren ain't a bust. I'll give you that. They are not busts at all. If you had to pick right now between Tatum and Jackson, well, you know, I talked about this last week. And I'll just say, I think Jackson plays better in Boston. They have a legit point guard. They've got other scorers. It's not much to be reliable about. And I think Tatum doesn't play quite as well here. Same issue. Now, I'll say this. Tatum is shooting 52% from three, whereas Jackson is shooting like 28%. I mean, it's below 30. It might even be less. It might be like 25. I can try to pull that up real quick. So, I mean, from that perspective, yes, I'd rather a guy that can shoot. But the thing is I trust that Josh Jackson will learn his shot because I have pointed to Sean Marion a bunch of times. Sean Marion became a legitimate, reliable three-point shooter. His first season, if I recall the stat correctly, he shot 11%. Sean Marion shot 11% from beyond the arc his rookie year. And, hey, you know what? Josh Jackson is more than doubling that. He's at 24%. So Tatum looking nice, but Jackson's got a great upset. Yeah, I'm fine with Jackson. I'm very fine. I'm happy with Jackson. Phoenix, not really a rookie. Not really his rookie. Oh, you're still not worried. So please like, please heart, please retweet. So I got two quick things, three non-Suns direct related things. I mean, one of them is Suns related. So for all y'all who say, Adam, you're such an Alex Len homer. You know, you'd love him. If you could sign Alex Len to a 3-year, $50 million extension, you would. The answer is yes, I would. Honestly, because you're not going to get a better starter. Although I'm okay with him leaving because he's not great. But I do want to point something out. One of my great friends, where is it? He got me this uniform for my birthday. And hey, on lunch break, Mr. Rich, what up? And somewhere on here, it is signed. Oh, there we go. Okay, so it's hard to see. I'll hold it up for both cameras. So I got me an Alex Len signed uniform. Now sign this guy to an extension. I'm not even kidding. They need a center. Who else are they going to have? Well, we need something. Somebody's got to be able to play the 5. I have not pre-ordered a 7 jersey. I don't wear jerseys. That's going in the shadow box. Get a center point guard. Yeah, absolutely. Now, the other thing I want to talk about is the reason why I chose these shades real quick. Let's go Sun Devils. Arizona State, baby. Upset Kansas in Kansas. I watched every second of that game as I watch this season. I'm not gonna lie. It's been difficult to watch them and bad ASU and bad Suns basketball in recent years. But this year they've been worth every watch, every second. Bobby Hurley, I still take Dan Marley, but I'm really psyched. Who has an option for free agent if Len won't resign? I got no idea. Yeah, let's go Devils. I mean, Tyson Chandler for another year. No, Jaleel to Phoenix. Well, he's a free agent. He's still unrestricted, so maybe. But, we got to go with it. And I just want to give a shout out. So the guy that gave me this uniform also runs on Twitter. If you're a Sun Devil fan, he runs Fear the Fork, which on Twitter, it's just a Twitter account. Fear the Fork. He's great opinions, great insight. He's not an insider or anything. He's just a fan. He's a hardcore fan, but it's got 5,000 plus followers. I mean, he's got a great following. I highly recommend looking up Fear the Fork. He's literally, that's the first promo for anything outside of the Battle of the Suns I've ever done. It might be the last, but I just got to give him a shout out. Good dude. Huge ASU guy if you want any insight. Gave me that Len Uni. I'm just pumped. So let's go Devils. Let's go Suns. Now let's get onto the broadcast. So, I said three things that don't necessarily affect the Suns. Here's one more that doesn't necessarily affect the Suns, but it actually can in a way. And that is that LiAngelo and LaMelo Ball, everybody's favorite ball boys, have decided, and actually their father has decided for them, I'm sure, that they are no longer going to college, and they're both going to play in Lithuania. Yeah, Fruit Loops might even be an understatement. So they're going to play in Lithuania. They're not going to play college ball. So obviously, LiAngelo is the one that's at UCLA right now. I can never remember. I don't know if that makes me a bad basketball fan or what. I'm just saying. I don't really care. LiAngelo, I believe it is, that plays. Yeah, exactly. Played for UCLA. Got arrested in China. Literally had to apologize, or not apologize, but thank the president for getting him out of the Chinese torture prisons. And then LaMelo is still in high school. But they've both been withdrawn, and rather than being personally trained by their father, who, Hall of Famer, Hall of Fame a-hole, but rather than being trained by them, they're now going to be trained by playing professionally in Lithuania. Now, I did see a tweet earlier this afternoon that they're not even going to be playing, trying to turn the American Porzingis. Yeah, right. Seriously. Only they don't have the height, they don't have the skill. Gosh, I mean, it's just like, what the hell? So the only reason why I say it affects the Suns is, for the sake of argument, let's say it works out. Now, they're not going to learn how to be superstars in Lithuania. They stood a better shot of learning how to be superstars at UCLA. They're going to get better collegiate training. Well, not collegiate training. They're going to get better all-around training. They're going to get better all-around coaching. Certainly more experienced. Maybe Marbury. I know Marbury said he wanted to come back to the NBA, so I'm not thinking he wants to move to Lithuania. It's more for LaMelo, to be honest. This competition in high school won't be as great as in Lithuania. He's going to get beaten down, though. He's going to get beaten down. Bender has a good choice. No, I don't hate on Bender, but we are going to talk about him in two topics. Definitely going to be talking about him. But I mean, how does this affect the Suns? What if on any level this is successful and they come back to the States? Because remember, like Josh Childress, he left and he came back and really did nothing. He was just super average. And then there was that kid. He hasn't. It wasn't Eric Gordon, was it? Who is the guard that was supposed to go to U of A? No new news, but I'm going to definitely talk about Booker as well. Actually, he's next. Who is the guy that was supposed to go to the U of A, ended up going overseas for 1 year, played overseas for 1 year, came back, and he's just been nothing but average. Forget who it was. Anyway, the point, though, is that so far it's really not worked out for anybody. It's not Brandon Jennings, thank you. It hasn't really made anybody that much better to do that. And even, look at guys like Dragan Bender. I mean, even playing all those years in professional ball, even at young ages, because I believe like Bender started at 14, it doesn't necessarily make you an amazing player either. So it's weird why they would decide, and I'm just going to say they as in they decided as a family, it's weird that they would decide to drop out of college or in school where they're going to get American training and they're going to get an American coaching, that is going to press them. He's still doing nothing. Terrence Ferguson, yeah, but they're going to at least better prepare them for the NBA, because it's not like these guys are hoping maybe I can play professionally in Spain. No, they're saying maybe I can play professionally, in Portland. Or, well, truthfully, the Lakers, if want to have a ball backcourt. So I just don't get it. So now, how could this affect the Suns in any way? Is if it works at all. Wait, but did he start in Europe? I don't remember Hakeem starting in Europe. Maybe he did. But if it works at all, I wonder if other players are going to start jumping ship. If there will be somewhat of an exodus. Yeah, maybe that's true. Maybe it's Trump sending them away. That's hilarious. Oh man, that is funny. He was so pissed. You better apologize. I saved you from Chinese prison. Oh my gosh. Oh, maybe he is. But I just wonder if there'll be any sort of exodus, which just means that the Suns are going. Many NBA teams are gonna. They all have. Oh, Hakeem played in Australia. Oh wow! So that was, you said he was done, but that was late in his career. They already have international scouts, is my point. But if you start to see a lot of American players go over, that's got to have to expand on some level the amount of scouting that you do, because you're still looking at kids that were at least they started through high school. They went through some level in. Okay, but here, the 1 year in college and overseas is tricky. Players learn nothing school-wise in college. They learn nothing school-wise, but they still get better athletic training. And beyond that, the younger one, the LaMelo, I think, is the youngest one. He'll have to be overseas for at least 2 years because it's 1 year out of high school. And so I believe the year is supposed to be 19. So, I don't know if he graduated high school early. And I don't know if, he'll have to be there for 2 years by my understanding. So it's just, why not do that year at UCLA? I mean, or anywhere. I mean, might Kansas take them? Is it possible, if they're that good? I mean, could they not run it at Duke for a year? I don't know, man. I believe sometime at the end of the month we'll get an announcement about the Oranges. So I just don't know. But I just do think that it'll force NBA teams to expand if this is successful. Right now, I think NBA teams are just going to laugh at LeVar. But okay, see, if he was right at number 7, he could have played at Duke. He could have played at U of A. He could have played at UCLA. He could have played at Kansas. I mean, he could have played at any number of those. North Carolina. Grayson. I mean, yes, he is. He's just second round talent. In my opinion, late first at the best. So I would not see him as a lottery. But I don't know. It's going to expand some stuff, and I just think the Suns, will be one of those teams, especially if they aren't very good for a few more years. They're going to be looking at those American guys if some players if there's some sort of a level of exodus here. Play our sister senior and go to college. See, but I don't get that. He's not going to play. There will be changes soon. Anyway, they'll be playing G League between high school and NBA. That would be interesting. They do need to make the G League a true developmental league. There needs to be a minor league system for the NBA, because these kids are coming out. No offense to Dragan Bender, Marquese Chriss, they should not have been playing for the Suns their rookie year. They just shouldn't have. Especially Bender. They need to have additional seasoning, and they need to have a step up from college, obviously, because they're only playing 30 to 35 games max. And if you get hurt, as some guys do, the first week, boom. I believe it was a Florida State player this year, gets hurt game 1. He's not going to play the rest of his college career. Some team will draft him this summer. He'll slide. I mean, hell, that could be where the Suns take him, mid, let's see if we get the Milwaukee's pick somehow, or Miami's pick, I don't have a lot of Colin Sexton at the moment. Excuse me. So, it's, I don't know. It's just it's different. Which is, they need that developmental league. They absolutely need that developmental league. They need to be able to get these kids visiting. Yeah, well, okay. But here's the thing: this particular Ball family, So for an average kid who's coming from, from off the streets, I shouldn't say off the streets per se, but I just mean like they're not coming from and obviously now well-to-do, because of Lonzo, the Ball family has money, and with endorsements, they've got a lot more money than we even know about, and so, uh, you know, so it's like for them, they don't need the money. It shouldn't be about it at all. Um, you know, well, now I do know that one of them, and again, I really just don't follow the Buff family, so I am kind of speaking, a little indirectly on this. Will they change? Jackson's shot won't change, just like Marin's didn't change. I think it'll be fine. I really do think it'll be fine. But one of them had already designed his own shoe, and so the NCAA wasn't going to let him into play anyway if he had a shoe deal ahead of time. So I mean, there's just a whole bunch of stuff that's silly. All right, enough of them. Please like, please retweet, please share, please tell your friends, text them real quick. Go, hey, let's go over to valleyofthesuns.com. We're finally talking some Suns. I just wanted to get that out of the way a little bit real quick. We got a bunch of people on YouTube. We got a bunch of people on Twitter. We got a bunch of people on Periscope. The Bob family's new Kardashians. I guarantee you they'll have a show at some point, especially if all three kids make the league. I'll guarantee you they have a show. So now let's talk, some hardcore Suns talk. Sorry, I just wanted to get that off my chest because it's super interesting to me, just from the sports business perspective. Oh, they have a show already, Ball and Family? You know what? I do remember that they had something, but I didn't know it'd start airing. Patrick Mills and Luke Longley, the only two Australian players to play Australian League, then go on. Oh, that's interesting. Is the stream on Facebook? Are we on Facebook? Is that working? 2 NBA careers. It's Ball and Family, new Kardashians. Oh, Ball and the Family streams on Facebook, I'm guessing. So, hey, Devin Booker. Not so breaking news. He's hurt. He is out, and that was one of the scariest looking things. I'm still sticking with Bender. Still sticking with Bender because I just like what he can bring. But he's definitely going to be... We're going to talk about him next. We're going to talk about Marquese Chriss first. He had a little bit of an uptick here. I want to discuss that. So, with Devin Booker out... excuse me. It's allergy season here. With Devin Booker out, the Suns are obviously 0-2. So, and we expect them to suffer. I mean, there's a very good chance that they go on a 10-game plus losing streak. The fact that they were this close to actually being able to pull off a victory over San Antonio is surprising. I mean, even when you take into the fact that they didn't play Kawhi Leonard, Tony Parker, or Manu Ginobili. But, they still played Rudy Gay and LaMarcus Aldridge. And so, and they're the Spurs. Pop still coaches them. So, I mean, they're still going to be a good team. So the fact, though, that we were this close was surprising. But at the same time, they still lost. And in the end, that's really all that matters. It's just another L on the list. So, I don't think I hate how the Bulls are way worse. We'll probably get the number 1 pick. Yep, that's true. They're probably going to get the number 1 pick. But hopefully they just make the wrong pick. I really just don't expect the Suns to win again. Not until Booker gets back. I mean, certainly they could. They could pull out a win against Sacramento tomorrow night. I mean, that's entirely possible. So I'm not saying like I don't want them to win. I do want them to win. I definitely want them to pull off a victory against San Antonio. I thought that would have been a great victory. I don't care if they're shorthanded. San Antonio beat the Spurs. There are 2 teams in the league I want the Suns to beat at all times. If they could go 7-0 or 6-0, however many games they play against each team each year, if they could go 7-0, 6-0 against them and lose every other game, I'm okay because we swept the Lakers, swept the Spurs. That's what I want. Bulls are up 13 right now in Boston. Wow. While Bamba are 8 for our centers, 8 because Bamba's going to be too rough. Losses are okay, push to 5. You guys are killing me. The Suns super team, we got so close. We're getting closer, inch and every day. Well, in the meantime, the question was, who's going to step up? And I said Josh Jackson. I wrote a big post about this. Josh Jackson needs to be the one to step up. And he definitely has taken a step forward in terms of what he's going to bring to the team. He's definitely approached these last 2 games without Booker with the intention of being an effective player, both offensively and defensively. My throat is so dry, and I didn't drink a bottle of water. This is going to be a struggle for the next 40 minutes. Kind of step up when you can't shoot. Oh, that's true. In his last 2 games, he's shot 6 of 14, so under 50%. He's scored 19 points, so he's actually scored 32 points in his last 3 games. That's okay. I thought Booker was just like too much. Didn't they say he had a terrible one? I expected it was 2 to 3 weeks. It was a strain. It was not a full tear. They said it was just a strain. And Eddie Johnson has said over and over that he thinks it's like it had to have been tight. That wasn't something you're just sliding all of a sudden pull. He's like, it had to have been tight. Can play the starting 4? Possibly. But when you compare him to Draymond Green, and when you make a comparison to Draymond Green, I still think Bender is the better Draymond Green comp. He's just got to be more confident. He just has to have better coaching. Josh Jackson, I still think, will be our starting small forward. I think he'll be a hell of an effective small forward. And my thought on Josh Jackson all along has just been, if he's going to be the starting small forward, you've got to be able to keep TJ Booker. Gosh, TJ Booker. Holy cow. You got to be able to keep TJ Warren on the bench, on this roster. You need a Cedric Ceballos type if you're ever going to compete. What's James shooting? Oh, I just lost my mouse. I apologize, you guys. Allergies are killing me. I can tell you. So in regards to, I pull up these stats. In regards to Marquese Chriss, he's taken a statistical step up his last 2 games. So while the Suns are 0-2, I agree. Don't rush. Don't rush Booker. If it takes 4 weeks, just take the 4 weeks. Not only for the losses that I hate, but make sure he's healthy. I'd rather him play 50 games totally healthy than 60 or attempt for 60 and pull something else. So his last 2 games with Booker out, Chriss is averaging 13 points, 5 boards, 1 steal, a half a block, and only, and I mean this sincerely, only 2.5 personal fouls. Now, to put this into slight perspective, his first game in the 10-point loss to Washington, the first game without Booker, he scored 11 points, which is nice, 5 of 7 shooting, including a 3, no free throws. Scored 11 points, grabbed 2 boards, got 2 steals, and got 1 assist and 1 block, and with 3 personal fouls. In the end, I say, okay, 11 points, 2 boards, 1 assist, big deal. Mike James can get that every single game. And that was Marquese Chriss' first double-digit scoring game in 2 weeks. And he has had a total of 1, 2, 3, 5 double-digit scoring games all year. So that first game against Washington, 11 points, 2 boards, big deal. Go for 50. I actually think he will. I truly do. I think Booker can go and will go for 50 at some point this season. Now, his second game, the most recent game, the 3-point loss to San Antonio, Marquese Chriss scored 15 points, grabbed 8 boards, got 1 assist, 1 steal, 1 assist, no steals, no blocks. So he gets 15 points, gets 8 boards. Now, 2 thoughts on that. First off, he shot 5 of 10 from the field, which is okay. 1 for 2. No, I don't think many draft picks do. Their pick will have some. Suns' pick. But then he actually got to the line, went 4 of 5. It was the second most free throws he's attempted all season. This is killing me. It's the third time he's got at least 5 free throws all season. So it truly was his free throws to set him over the top. Had he not had any free throws as the other game, he would have still scored 11 points. So Chriss hasn't been whining, maybe not to the media. He still whines. He got a technical at Washington, remember? I wish I had that stat pulled up. He got a technical at Washington. On a team like Chriss, I've never seen. I'm sure they do. Yeah, I've seen guys talk to him on the bench. I mean, I'm sure he's a likable kid. I don't hate him. I'm just as disappointed. Follow the full game and not making it until again. Well, there's that. That's a true point. They're also probably not doing, moving the offense through him. But at the same time, is that really what he needs to get going? Do you think the reason Chriss has been lacking is due to the amount of bigs on this team? Well, again, I mean, it's like the lack of bigs. I don't understand. We've got Alex Len. We've got Tyson Chandler. We've got Greg Monroe. We've got Dragan Bender, who's also 7'1". He's the 5th tallest player on the team. So I don't know what lack of bigs. No offense, I'm certainly not insulting your point. I mean, maybe there is something to that, but he never has to play center. Let me see if I can look that up. I don't even know if he's played center this year. He hasn't needed to. Okay, so let's see. I know I can look it up. He has played center 4% of the time. You see my comments? I think so. I think I just responded to your last one, Ms. Rich. Not like a bit. There's too many, I think. Okay, so maybe I misread that. Is it too many bits? No, because he's still playing power forward, and he's still starting. That's the other thing. I mean, outside of the first 3 games and then 3 games around Thanksgiving, you guys, I'm so sorry. So he's not started, or he has started all but 6 games. Still playing power forward. I mean, it's not like he's shooting out, lights out either. He's shooting 41% from the field. 41% from a power forward who really shouldn't be taking shots beyond 10 feet. And then 32% from beyond the arc. So not only is 41%, 5%, 4% lower than last year, but that's just ridiculous for a power forward. It's also ridiculous for a second-year player to have such a stark drop in shooting percentage. I'm curious about Dragan Bender. Bender's has leapt, I'm sure. Okay, so it hasn't leapt. His three-point percentage has spiked. It's gone up 8%. That's a huge jump. I mean, shooting 35.7. That's okay, but that's not bad. But then Bender's field goal percentage, his two-point field goal percentage has actually dropped by 10%, which is ridiculous. It was 48% last year. It's 38% this year on more attempts. Barely, but still. So that sucks. They just got to get him going. It's really strange. He seemed promising last year. I still believe him. I believe in both. I just believe that Bender will prove to be better because, I think he will end up being more consistent because his shooting has obviously improved. And give him another year. Let him take another 50,000 shots. And I mean that literally. And that'll improve. I mean, he's no Eddie. And then beyond that, they need to get him in the post. And I'd been saying that, and then Eddie Johnson mentioned it a couple games ago. Eddie Johnson on Fox Sports said it a couple games ago. He's like, I want Bender to play like a 7'1" player. If Bender proves to be better, it's not looking too bright. Well, that's obvious. It's relative, because they could both be terrible, but Bender just being a little bit better. But no, I think Bender is going to be a good player. I'm not saying, that he'll be a full-fledged unicorn, but I do think he's going to be a better player. I do want to talk about, though, because I do have Bender on my list, and Bender on my list of topics. He was third. I do want to just hit on Marquese Chriss real quick. I want to know from you guys. I mean, Chriss, so he scores in double digits 2 straight games. It's not like he scored 20. His season high is 19, which he got in Game 4. But again, scored 11 points, 2 boards against Washington without Booker, and then 15 points, 8 boards against San Antonio without Booker. And then of those 15, his field goal percentage was worse against San Antonio than it was against Washington, but he actually made free throws. Against Washington, 0 for 0. Against San Antonio, 4 for 5. Is this because of Devin Booker, or is it coincidence? I'm very curious. So real quick, while you're writing that out, please like, please retweet, please share. We're live on YouTube. We've got I believe that is a season high of people watching on YouTube. That is fantastic. Whose attitude? Tell me his attitude. We're on Periscope. We're on Twitter as well. Please tell your friends real quick. Hey, we got another 32 minutes left of the show. Come on and join in. I wish I brought a bottle of water or hot tea, anything. This is a struggle. Allergies are the worst. So does anybody think that Marquese Chriss, that this is a coincidence, or that this is actually Chriss finding a way to step forward on the team? I can't get water because I guarantee you, if I stepped away even for a minute, people will just drop off. I'm gonna suffer. Could be a little bit of both. Definitely could be a little bit of both. Yeah, I guess we'll see. I mean, he's gonna be out. Ben Booker, that is going to be out for 8 more games, hopefully at a minimum. At least another 2.5 weeks, presumably. So we'll see. I mean, if Chriss is, if this keeps up, because he scores in double digits more often than not while Booker is out, and then he comes back and is back to 4, 5, 2, 8. Oh, Scott Bordeaux just tweeted about Devin Booker. Sorry, I was just reading that. Dragan Bender, excuse me. Rank is one of the best shooting guards in the NBA this season. Top 5. Give me a list. I'll fit him into the top 5. But Marquese Chriss with Booker, his last 11 games. 4, 5, 2, 8, 2, 2, 7, 4, 10, 2, 3, 5. Is that because of Booker? No, it's not. I mean, he took 2 of 7, 2 of 7, 1 of 4, 3 of 4, 1 of 2, 1 of 7. I mean, look at that. 2 of 7, 2 of 7, 1 of 7. Another 1 of 1. I mean, it's just I'm not impressed at all, and I just think this is just coincidence. These last 2 games. What are your thoughts on Marquese Chriss always with bad attitude? I believe it. I've tweeted about it a lot. I've talked about it a lot. He's got a bad attitude. He's got a very entitled attitude. He seems like he believes he deserves some sort of recognition from referees, some sort of pampering, some sort of I mean, it's just he acts like I have compared him to Charles Barkley without the talent. Charles Barkley earned the right, in my opinion, to bitch and moan and complain and slam the ball and yell at refs. Hell, in the '93 Western Conference Finals, he actually shot, finger gunned at 2 refs. He earned the right to be able to do that kind of stuff because he was fantastic. Chriss doesn't have the right. Maybe it's because of Ulysses James? No, he didn't play better. We're young, we're not going to get all the calls. Well, that's the point, but he doesn't seem to agree with that. What are your thoughts on Chriss? Oh, just a bot. He just doesn't believe in it. Thoughts on Josh Jackson? Well, he was whining a lot about Kansas losing to ASU. Beyond that, again, I mean, I think he's going to be fine. He has tried to take a step forward. I mean, I'll look at this. He scored in double digits 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 times. But if you don't hurt your nose if you have a cold. Oh, I know. I've got some lotion ones here. I appreciate that. But I mean, like, Josh Jackson's doing a lot better. In fact, Josh Jackson is averaging 9.3 points. He's averaging 9.3 points to Chris's 6.5. I mean, Josh Jackson is finding a way to produce. He has to play on the same court with Devin Booker. Now, okay, so is Josh Jackson taken away sometime in high school? Yes, he did start sometime in high school. Team just more rebounds. Yeah, but who's going to give him? Who's going to get him? I mean, so maybe it's Josh Jackson the way taken away from Marquese Chriss? Maybe. But, actually, I haven't thought about this. So field goal percentage 41. Oh, Josh Jackson's is a worse field goal percentage, but he's attempting 8.8 to Chris's 5.6 points per minute. 9.3, about 0.4 points a minute for Josh Jackson, and then I'm doing some heavy math here, and about 6, 12, 18, about 0.4 again. They're both averaging about 0.4. If you want to go per 36, I think it's definitely a more fair comparison. 11.6 for Marquese Chriss and 15.2 for Josh Jackson. Nah, Chriss just isn't making his shots or being effective. That's the nuts and bolts of it. Yeah, well, he's not making his shots, and yet Jackson is shooting a much worse field goal percentage. Greatest Phoenix Sun of all time? Wow, we're getting to the rapid fire this early. I'll tell you what, we're 33 minutes in. Please like, please heart, please retweet. Live on YouTube, live on Periscope, live on Twitter, live on... Oh, that's it. Oh, those 3. Is Booker the best player? No, I mean, I'd still probably say Barkley. Although, an argument truly could be made that it was Connie Hawkins. Remember, they said Connie Hawkins was Dr. J before Dr. J, and they said Dr. J was Michael Jordan before Michael Jordan. So, you can say Connie Hawkins was almost a Michael Jordan of his era. He wasn't, and but you can make a kind of indirect kind of comparison just in terms of incredible talent. So, Booker's Kobe before Kobe. I sure the hell hope so. Woo! I hope so. So, I did want to go back to Dragan Bender for a minute. Will the Suns be looking for another coach this offseason? Yes. I believe so. I don't believe that Jay Toronto will be back. That's my opinion. And it's nothing against the guy. Truthfully, I think he's better suited to be an assistant coach. Not that he can't head coach. Obviously, he head coached the Toronto Raptors. He's the head coach of the Canadian national team. So, I mean, the guy can coach. But I think he's better as an assistant coach, as more of a mentor, as a teacher. And, it's just not working. Now, at the same time, he's been put in the same crappy situation that Earl Watson was placed in. And he's done a better job of it, is my point. But they need, first off, no matter who they draft or how many people they draft, in free agency, they're going to find some more veteran players that are are um, major role, not just role players. They're major players in the situation. That doesn't necessarily mean they're going to find superstars, but I mean a Rudy Gay type player, just in that the veteran guy who can score, can be a little bit of a leader. They don't need to build a team around a bunch of veteran kind of role player 6 men kind of guys, but they need a couple of them. They need more than just centers. Or Jared Dudley is fine, but he's not Jared Dudley isn't intended to be an integral part on this roster. Tyson Chandler is, and Greg Monroe is, but out of necessity because they don't have a young center. I mean, obviously Alex Len isn't old; he's very young as well, but he's been here for a while, and it's likely that he's out the door. So they are, they're kind of holding down the fort at center, but they're not integral parts, especially offensively. So what they need is either a very strong point guard or a very strong power forward. Very strong as in veteran, good talent, not going to put up with losing, gonna throw some chairs in the locker room after, during halftime to get the team started, going to throw chairs in the locker room after the game, after a loss, that kind of thing. They need to get those kinds of guys. Those guys that are like, hey, I've been in the league for 8 years, 10 years. I hate losing. I'm here to win. Devin Booker's here to win. Get your ass in gear. Let's roll. They need those guys. They don't have them. And so obviously point guard, power forward, or center will be best. I still think you draft a center. Again, I've always been for, and I will stand by through the draft, that I would still take Doncic. But I take him under the guise of converting the offense to a Golden State Warriors offense, because it is proven to not only be highly effective and efficient, but I believe it would be perfect for Devin Booker. And it would be perfect for a backcourt of Devin Booker and Luka Doncic. Now, at the same time, if you're not getting him, or you have no intention of doing that kind of offense, which I think is a mistake, then you draft a center, and then you go find, a power forward and a point guard who are both veterans. And you say, okay, we're going to play, obviously, our young Booker, who's, maybe young, but is already star-worthy. We're then going to play our young small forwards in TJ Warren and Josh Jackson. We're going to play our young backup power forwards in Marquese Chriss. Shorter might be nice. In Marquese Chriss and Dragan Bender. But our starting point guard is a veteran. Our starting power forward is a veteran. And we draft a center. And presumably you draft a center that can step in and play. Define big name, because there aren't many available. And B, it depends on the position. The best available player, who I guarantee will be available because he's going to be an unrestricted free agent, is, of course, Boogie. Top 4 pick, then who trade it? You know what? I would cultivate offers for that number 4 pick. I sincerely would. I would look to trade that number 4 pick. And I would look to trade that pick right now before I even know what it is. And I'm sorry, you said if we're out of the top 4. My point is, I would trade an out of the top 4 pick. And I would look to trade that now. If a team came to you and offered a superstar right now and said, we'll take that pick and we'll take Marquese Chriss. And I'm talking a superstar in a position that you need. A point guard or a power forward or a center. Obviously, you're not going to bring anybody in that's going to play shooting guard. And truthfully, you're not going to bring anybody in to play small forward either. So, if that guy ever becomes available, okay, so that's a $64 million question that I will leave up to everybody else but myself. And the reason that is, I say that is because you just don't know who's going to be available. And so every time I make these picks, these points, Chris Paul to the Suns this offseason next year, not if they're getting LeBron James, which after yesterday looks like is a legit possibility. Conley, Kemba, agreed, yes. And that's what I would look for. Kemba, more particularly because of his youth. But then again, I build an offense that has more consistent movement. Because remember, Kemba is still an Eric Bledsoe, including age. Kemba Walker is Eric Bledsoe. 20-plus points, 6 assists. You need a guy that, trade all our picks and everybody but Booker. You need a guy that's going to, or a system that's going to get him 23 points and 8. And that guy might not exist. But I go and I point back into the past in a different time in NBA history. Understandably. But I look at Kevin Johnson. Kevin Johnson was most effective his first. He was very effective his entire career, but he was most effective his first 3 years when he had after his rookie season. It is when he was dropping. I'll pull up his stats right now. He was dropping 20 plus and then 12, 11, 10 assists. So his first full year with Phoenix, 20.4 points, 12.2 assists. Second year, and now this is now his third year in the NBA. 22.5, 11.4, 22.2, 10.1, 19.7, 10.7. Those are the numbers that you need to go find from a point guard. Now, offensive system does that. Kyle Lowry again. Kyle Lowry, yeah, he's another Eric Bledsoe, but I want a guy that's going to give me 8+ assists with his 20+ points. You do that, and now you've got a very effective point guard and a second scorer next to Devin Booker. So that backcourt now becomes totally lethal, but the point guard is still not selfish. He's getting those points, but he's still dishing out those assists. I don't like 5 assists a game plus 20 points. That from a point guard, it means you're going nowhere. We'll re-sign Alex Len this offseason. I think they let him walk, but I would re-sign him. Yeah, I'm sorry, there isn't any of those available. No, there's not. But again, that's why I say I draft Luka Doncic, and then say, all right, we're going to now go build Golden State Warriors East. I call it, what do you have, deloading on the Suns? What do you have, deloading on the Suns? Wait, would you like to have deloading? I don't know. Derrick Rose? Who's deloading? I would design a Splash Bros PHX, and then I would make that a banner. If you draft Luka Doncic, oh, Russell, yes, I would. Sorry, I didn't realize deloading. Yes, I would. But at this point, I don't think he's unrestricted. Is he? We'd have to trade for him, and the Nets said they have no interest in trading him. Let me see. He's got a team option for next year, so no, he's not going anywhere. Yeah, but after that team option, he might be unrestricted in 2019. I've been on for 42 minutes. Now, but yeah. But that's the thing. That's why I would, even though I have been ardently against drafting a point guard high, because point guards don't win championships, I'm okay with drafting Doncic based on his skill set of being a fantastic shooter who can pass. And then I go and I recreate Splash Bros, call it Splash Bros PHX, put a banner so Booker and Doncic, and then I recreate their offense. And that's when when the effectiveness of a guy like Dragan Bender and Marquese Chriss, those guys can really take effect because it's just constant movement. And this team just doesn't have it. Excuse me. This team just does not have that kind of, even to this day. Now, they have, and when I say even to this day, I just mean even under Jay Triano, they didn't move at all under Earl Watson. That was the most stagnant, isometric, selfish team there was. There was no system. It was just trash. That has improved under Jay Triano. It just hasn't improved enough. Except if get a top 3 pick, trade all your assets with Warren, and get another top 3 pick and trade. Doncic is, 6'8", great floor vision. Bender pretty much turns into a fry. Maybe. Okay, but I can defend why that would be okay. Doncic can a center problem himself. Maybe. So, if you can trade for a second top 3 pick, and let's say you get Doncic and Ayton, all right. Now, I still say you go and you just go, everybody else, anybody that you can move for a veteran, you do. And you got to add some veteran leadership to this team. Remember, Kevin Johnson, that year, his first full year, they were young, but he was very young. He was only 21, 22, his second year here, his first full year in Phoenix. I agree, it'd be a sad day, but I still think he needs to stay. But they then signed Tom Chambers, who, if I recall correctly, was 28. So you go get a big veteran player. They had Kurt Rambis, who was a vet. Mark West was young. Dan Marley was young. Jeff Hornacek was young. Ty Corbin was young. Tom Chambers was 29. Tom Chambers was 29. So, those teams need it. So, you know what? I wonder if I can pull up that roster real quick, just because, and I've been wanting to make this point for a long time. They have not been good since Nash. Okay, hold on. I can pull this up. I know how to do this. I want to look up that roster real quick in terms of age. They were very young, but that was 88, 89. Here we go. That year, do I get ages? Do I see ages? Yes, okay. KJ, 22. Hornacek, 25. Art McGilliam, 24. Marley, 23. Tim Perry, 23. Ty Corbin, 26. Andrew Lang, 22. Steve Kerr, 23. Kenny Gavitzon, 24. I mean, those were all either starters or role players, all young. But then you had Tom Chambers, 29. Eddie Johnson, 29. Mark West was 28. I actually thought it was a little younger, but still. So you got a veteran center there. And then the following year is when they get. That's right. It was the following year where they got Kurt Rambis. Am I correct? Yes, and he was 31. By that point, Chambers and Eddie Johnson were 30. So it's like you have to have those veteran guys on the roster. You can't build a roster and be successful with just young kids. Tom Chambers, for his first 2 years, was the best player on the team. He was 29, 30, 31. Obviously, Kevin Johnson becomes the best player. Marlin becomes one of the best players. They were young, but they had to age into it. If you want Devin Booker to be successful before he hits 28, and if you want him to re-sign with you twice before he turns 28, you're going to have to start winning. You're not going to do that with 15 guys on this roster who still can't rent a car, which, by the way, is age 26. So, in order to bring an experience striking out a free agency law, well, okay, you try to get that next good guy, and then you can sign free agents. Honestly, they're gonna have to try to get that guy to be a star next to Booker, and then another free agent will come in and be like, 2 down, 1 to go. I'm your 1. 1 + 1 = 3. So that's what it'll have to be. So yeah, they'll have to trade for that one more guy, presuming that they can't draft somebody that just steps in and becomes a superstar talent in his rookie year. And right now, that just doesn't happen. I apologize. Booker will be gone by the time he's 28. Not if they're winning, and they'll be winning by then. Which I've got. I don't even think it's misplaced faith. I've got faith they'll be winning by then. So, while we still have 13 minutes left, please like, please heart, please retweet, please text friends. Go, hey, check out other since the last 10 minutes. Just go. I want to actually talk about one more thing. I'm going to expand on the potential trading with the first round pick. I would do it. For whom, I don't know, but I would do it. I would trade that first round pick. I really would, for a star if available. And I say that because just look at who else they're drafting. The best player they drafted is Devin Booker. He was 13th. TJ Warren, the second best player they drafted, and the first and second best players on this team, he was drafted 15th. Alex Len, 5th. Dragan Bender, who I still think will be fine, but obviously not going to be a superstar, 4th. Marquese Chriss, 8th. You can add in more. But the point, though, is that, unless you have the number 1 pick, and even that's not a guarantee. We've got a former number 1 pick in Andrew Wiggins. Not Andrew Wiggins, I apologize. But he is in the NAZ. So, it's just like, come on. The draft is such an insane crapshoot. You look at Giannis Antetokounmpo. He was 13th. Steph Curry was 7th. DeAndre Jordan was in the second. Or DeAndre Jordan, I apologize. That's what I'm going to talk about. Because I said DeAndre Jordan. These guys, I would trade that pick, an unknown, for an established star. Boom. Then you've got your 1 + 1. Then you go and get a free agent. IT was 60th. Thank you. It's just those guys. It's just Antetokounmpo. Did I say it wrong? So, there's just no guarantee that who you draft. Now, again, if you're keeping the pick, I still go Doncic, but only if they go, they make a concerted effort. Maybe go sign a Golden State assistant coach. I'm not a fan of Mike James, but that is his name, right? Golden State Warriors assistant coach. I know I just said our player. It's Mike James, right? It's Mike James, right? Mike Brown. Excuse me, Mike Brown. I'm not a fan of Mike Brown, but if I don't know who Ron Adams is. If Ron Adams is like if he's like a Steve Kerr disciple, and you tell him, hey, we're gonna do Booker and Doncic. I want you to recreate Golden State Splash Brothers, PHX. Then do it. But if you're not gonna do that, if you're gonna go traditional, which I disagree with, but if you are, you can win 55 plus games with that. I just don't think you win a title right now. Then you go and draft a center, and I think you do need to get a center. And then you trade, and I still say you trade that Miami pick. I would keep one or the other. I would keep our pick and then trade Miami's in a package, or I would keep Miami's and trade ours in our package. Obviously, the superstar you can potentially get, or the star you can potentially get with our pick, is likely going to be better than with Miami's. But at the same time, I still say one of them has to go, and I would trade ours. And again, especially since I just illustrated, Devin Booker, TJ Warren, the Greek Freak. Those guys were all drafted later than 4 or 5. So if that pick is 10 or 11, and by that pick I mean Miami's, and I can tell you right now what it's slated to be right now, then that you have just as good shot of getting a star there as you do at high. So okay, so Miami. You know what? I need to go to NBA.com. That'll be easier. Oops. Oh. There we go. Got 9 minutes left, brothers. And because of my allergies and my throat, I'm definitely not going overtime. We're not going down tied. All right, current. Oops. You still there? Yeah, you're there. Current standings. We're looking at conferences. Okay, so Miami, they are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Did I count that right? 3, 6. Yeah, 3, 6. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So they currently are tied for the 12th pick, which means they could have the 12th to 13th pick as it stands at this moment. They're also literally 1/1000th of a percentage point ahead of Utah, so they could actually slip to 14 like that. But you know what? Okay, I use that pick and I go draft Devin Booker 2.0, TJ Warren, Giannis. I'm not guaranteeing you're going to get them, but I'm okay with that risk. So long, Kyle from the Lakers. There you go. I wouldn't trade either pick for him, just based on his age and where he was drafted. But yeah, I mean, he is good. Although I doubt they move him. But I would trade that Suns pick for a star, and again, maybe I can come up with a list at some point and make a post out of that. I'm not sure. It could be difficult because it's all about, you just don't know who's going to be available. You really just don't. Again, I mean, we never knew that why can't I think of his name? Kyrie Irving, excuse me. You never knew that Kyrie Irving was going to be available. You didn't know years ago that James Harden was going to be available. You just don't know if these guys are going to be available until all of a sudden they are, and in which case, it's just a matter of just being in the right place at the right time. So it looks like my computer has frozen. Oh, I don't want to close all, though. Oh, yeah, well. Still streaming, so that's okay. Anyway, so how about this? We got about 6 minutes left. You guys everybody have any rapid fire questions, comments, concerns, facial twitches, anything? What do you want to know about those orange jerseys? I don't know whether I don't actually know that they're going to be orange, but hope you feel the next better spooky. Yeah, the Christmas Baker. Are you still doing the special? Well, no, because it's on Christmas. No, I wouldn't do it on Christmas Day. I might be able to do it on that Tuesday. I'm not going out of town. We'll see. I'll definitely do one on the 18th. I shouldn't say definitely. I guess you never really know. But yeah, I plan on doing it on the 18th. Won't do it on Christmas Day. I can't do it on Christmas Eve. I can shoot for the Tuesday after. That shouldn't be a problem. Anybody have any rapid fire stuff? I can't wait for those uniforms to be released. The ones that I have on Twitter as mystery. I'm excited to see what those are. I hope they're orange. Um, I love orange uniforms. I just think they're really cool. And you know, and I just hope they don't bring back gray. I thought that gray was just so disturbingly ugly. It looked like dustpan. Um, oh, oh, please no. Do you want gray, Zappy? Seriously? I definitely don't want gray. I would love an orange. Orange should always be consistent in their rotation. Black is awesome. I dig these new black unis. I really do. I think they're real cool. I wish it said Suns instead of PHX. I'm not the biggest fan of PHX. I thought PHX on the belt loop looked cool, but I do like the black unis. I love the whole set. I think these are very cool. These are the best ones they've had in a while. Yeah, no gray. Gray is awful. Dustpan ugly. Enemy rapid fire. Devin Booker. I think we'll be fine. The classics. Oh, you can't go wrong with the classics. I still wish the throwbacks we wore, and I know they're referencing from 50 years ago when it was plain fun. I still wish it had the Wild West fun, but I'm okay with it. I do wish we wore the fireballs more often, or wore them again. I love the home white fireballs. I wish that was on NBA 2K. Those are such sweet uniforms. My son is 3. I actually have him play NBA Live 99 because it's so less complicated. So we play NBA Live 99 on the PS2 all the time. He'll ask me, yes, I play PS4 and Xbox One. I do both. I play 2K on the Xbox One. Right now I'm playing Battlefront 2 on the PS4. But my son, I have him play the PS2. We play NBA Live 99, which I believe is the greatest NBA game of all time. To this day, I still believe it's the greatest NBA game of all time is NBA Live 99. Awesome, yeah. And I still love playing with those Suns uniforms, the white ones. So awesome. That roster, too. Man, those teams. Kidd, KJ, Nash. Penny wasn't on the team in NBA Live 99, but you had Cliff Robinson, Rodney Rogers. I believe he had already had Luke Longley. I mean, that team is the biggest underachieving team. Those teams. There was a couple, from 98 to 01. Or 98 to 2000. I guess just 98, 99, 99, and 2000. It's the most underachieving team in franchise history. Seriously. I mean, they should have... They never got out of the semifinals. That's just what sucks. In the year they got to the semifinals, they had to bring KJ out of retirement. And granted, they lost to the Lakers, but I actually think the Suns, because Kobe was not a superstar yet. It really was still just Shaq at that moment. They could have potentially pulled off, if they were just, if they didn't underachieve. They just underachieved. I sincerely believe that. That team, the 99-2000 team, might be the best team that never got out of the semifinals in Suns history. Seriously, at least on paper. D'Angelo, Booker, and Karl Anthony Towns? Yeah. How do you get me Karl Anthony Towns? We can work on D'Angelo Russell. How do you get me Karl Anthony Towns? What trade to get him? I would trade the number 4 overall pick, or I would even trade the number 1 overall pick for Karl Anthony Towns. Sincerely, I would trade anything for him, but Booker. But you got Booker and Karl on the same team, and then you got me D'Angelo Russell. Yes, now we're talking. Now we're sincerely talking about a damn good team. So, all right, I'll tell you what. I am suffering here, and I do apologize. I love you all. I'm so sorry that I was so sick today. My son gave it to me. I've been sick for a while. Thank you again. You guys are the man. Cat to the Walls version of the Booker. This is true. Obviously, only plays PS3 if you have one. Maybe they can be friends. Hey, he's friends with everybody. They're not trading him. Get water. I am right now. I promise you. I'm going to get water, some hot tea, some lemon. I don't have a sore throat. It's just dry as hell. So I'm suffering here. So I will be here next week. Hopefully a lot healthier. I promise I'll be here next Monday. We'll be here. I've been trying to get a guest star or not a guest star, but a guest to come off the past couple of weeks. And I think we're finally going to line up for next week. So I am psyched. We are 2 weeks from today is Christmas, baby. 2 weeks from today is from Christmas, which some people say is when the league year actually starts. I think that's stupid. I watch every game. I watch the preseason. I get pumped for Summer League. But maybe things will happen. I don't know. Maybe because of Christmas, something will happen. So anyway, I will see you guys in a week unless we have breaking news and I have to host a show during the week. Please have breaking news of the good kind that make me host a show, because I love hosting the show and I love to talk to you guys. I love being here and I do this for you. I love you all. You are the best. You get me through this. You're the reason I'm here. Thank you very much. I will